What's going on, Copper? Eli here. Now, you know I am a huge football fan, especially when it comes to my national team, the Socceroos. So you can imagine the other night when I go to the cinemas and the movie I watch starts with a montage of us scoring 31 goals, that I'd be in my element. I was. However, by the end of the film, I became more intrigued by the opponents. And so, I've made a couple of calls and I've actually been able to arrange a catch-up with the guys who've made a full-feature documentary about these ultimate underdogs.
American Samoa warriors, show me how to fight. I'll show you how to win. Come on!
All right, guys, next goal wins. It's out in the cinemas now. I just saw it the other day. I cannot stop thinking about it. How did you come about this story?
It was the 31-0 loss to Australia that sort of first planted the seed, and it struck a chord with all of us as football fans. Initially because it's a funny result, you know, how can you lose by that many goals? But very quickly we all recognised something much more admirable, and this is a team who'd never won, scored only a handful of goals in their whole career, and you know, they continue to play, and it says something about the spirit of the American Samoan team, and perhaps something about their love of the game of football.
The boys, they got the heart. I know they not really have the skills and everything, but they got the guts.
Initially there was a certain amount of resistance or suspicion on their part. I think people had been in touch with them before that took that 31-0 loss as something to mock them with. Whereas our stance was the opposite. We looked at that 31-0 loss as a badge of honour.
I played with George Best, Johan Cruyff. I coached several MLS teams, spent some time with the U.S. Soccer Federation as well. So I know how it works on the highest level.
This word palangi is Samoan that means cloudburster, and they used it to describe basically foreigners. And Thomas was a palangi and he turned up on the island. It was, I think day one there was a few kind of curious glances, and then like as you stayed there, like more and more people would just turn up to training. And there was just this sort of sense of who is this madman?
Initially we thought that he was going to screw the documentary up for us, but what he did was I guess he put our view or opinion about soccer, top professional soccer, on the screen so that we could watch that change. We could watch top flight football go into this environment and think it's going to turn it around, and actually he was transformed himself.
That first training session with yellow.
Play, yellow ball, yellow ball, yellow ball, yellow! Fuck you.
You're kind of feeling sorry for him as well at the same time, because he's been very aggressive and quite confrontational a lot of the time, but equally, you know, he's got a job to do.
Did you realise the enormity? Or did the players, were they aware of just how big this story was?
I think we were. I don't think they necessarily fully grasped it, but then I think Thomas did a really good job of conveying that.
This is the highest stage. This is where you should go, wow. I would cut off my penis to play in a World Cup qualifying game. International football, it's the best.
Now, Copenhagen, we're worldwide, we've got viewers and subscribers everywhere, and they love football as much as us. What tips would you give them to tell a football story perhaps around their area?
The stuff that's most interesting about Next Goal Wins is the stuff that's specific to that culture, specific to that place. One of the most exciting things that happened to us was at 6 o'clock every night when the sun falls, the Chiefs come down the hills in Samoa and they ding this bell and it's curfew, and everyone stops for 15 minutes and they just have to contemplate and think about something different to what they're doing. And Thomas was just saying, no, sorry boys, we haven't got enough time for this. We've got to keep on training. And Ace, one of the other coaches, came along and said, no, Thomas, you're here with us now. You're in Samoa now. You have to do things the way that we do things. And it was amazing to see him actually start to accept that this curfew was actually a way to bring his team together, to actually infuse the game with the culture and actually make the team stronger.
The 3 qualifiers that they take part in, they hadn't won a game.
I'm just trying to prove we're not the same team anymore. I want to win a game. I would die as a happy person.
We were watching American Samoa against Tonga, and when that final whistle blew, I honestly don't think I've ever enjoyed a game or felt as elated as I have as a fan when that happened.
For the game against Tonga, to sort of set up a frame, and the guys were doing the national anthem, I just sort of panned across a bit, and on the other side of the field, Mike has just left his camera there and he stood singing the national anthem. He doesn't care about filming the national anthem, he's going to sing it, and that for me just summed it all up. I just think it's more important to show your love for the team than it was to film that moment.
I just say, like, if you're into football for the emotions, the roller coaster ride that it takes you through, or if you're into it for other reasons, like how international it is and what it can do to peoples, to countries in general, then you have to see this film. You will not regret it.
Here we go! Only coming up. hard, bro. Knees up, knees up. Come on, 50, baby, come on. Woo, I like it.